Hello, and welcome to the weekly AI Unplugged Mastermind. And today we're having a freeform Q&A session. I know we've got some Q's to A, and Katie is going to give us a little bit of an update. She's been putting together a newsletter on AI updates, and so she'll let you know what was in this week's newsletter. We do have some fun things. I'm curious, who has been using Google Labs projects? There are a bunch of different projects in Google Labs. And if you sign up for Google Labs, you can get early access to things that they are experimenting with. And I went yesterday and looked at what I had available. And right now I'm in Canada, and I know I usually don't have as much access to the different fun things that they're doing here. And I'll be in Seattle tomorrow, and I will probably see something slightly different in labs. But that's an area to keep an eye on. They are adding more AI projects in there, and you can be the first to try these new tools. And the thing about labs is I wouldn't get too attached to any of the projects because they don't always keep them, and they are experimental, but it could give you some inspiration of how you can use AI in your business. Because there are, I don't know, there's probably close to a dozen different experiments in there right now. Does anybody on the call have labs? Are you,
I can see them.
Andrea? Yeah, and Katie,
Hmm.
I would think.
Hmm.
There's some that for me just linked to a blog post, so I don't know if they were active or not. Um, but I was trying to sign up for any possible things in labs that I could. Um,
I could show you what it looks like if anybody wants to see it.
yeah,
Ignore all my open tabs, but here you go. So there's a bunch that you could click on. I clicked on a couple of these already. I'll show you what those look like. But so far, looks like there's some image, some search, um, notebook, music, say what you see. So it looks like helping you improve your image reading skills. So, oh, okay. Well, that's kind of cool because you can learn how to prompt better if you can describe images better. So that's kind of interesting. Then the duet is in there. Help me script, text FX. Um,
there's
yeah, it looks
four
like they've got
more.
some videos too. So
Yeah, it said load four more. There's four more on there. And we have a subscription to Duet, and it's like, it's okay. It doesn't do too much right now.
So there you
Yeah.
go. This is the image FX. Um, I don't know why it doesn't have me signed in, but here we go. Got it. All right, lots of buttons to push. Okay, here's some images. Um, I'm feeling lucky. Let's just hit that. So we'll give this one.
Realistic photograph of a cute otter zebra mouse in a field at sunset, tall grass, macro 35 millimeter film. So macro lens, 35 millimeter film. Oh, that's adorable. I love
Oh,
the first couple
I'm
there.
wondering because these look like they have drop downs. If then you could just change. Ooh, look. What happens if you just change one aspect of it? I guess you still have to hit generate, but like that's kind of interesting too.
Did anybody have a 120 camera when you were a kid? I know I sure did. Oh, these are kind of cute. I like the second one.
Mm-hmm.
I'd send it to Sarah.
So that's kind of interesting. Here is the another one. This is an instrument playground. Um, I want to play tuba. Um, 20-second audio clip inspired by this instrument for you to compose with. So let's see what that does. It's like some good hold music.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. I'll show you one more. This one was the extensions inside of Gemini. Um, let's see, which I think are these little guys here. Um,
Yeah, I do have those. This
uh,
is pretty cool.
I'll just use the example here so we can keep it going, which was for a coffee shop logo. So
Super.
it's similar to what, like AI PRM or something, where they're like creating these already generated sort of prompt template ideas. Um,
How about it didn't do a logo?
yeah, it did it.
No. Can you prompt it to do a logo based on the information above? I'm curious how the graphics will turn out. 'Cause a logo is a very specific thing, and I know there's a lot of logo generation tools, but I really haven't seen any that are
There we go.
like being a designer. I haven't seen any that I would choose. Oh, those are kind of fun. The bean looks chocolatey.
Yeah, and I have to read what it gave in order to like, oh yeah, and it did say the chunky pixel art style, retro gaming, so that's why it did this first one in that way. And then
Mm-hmm.
um, the other one, coffee controller hybrid, geometric shape subtly combines elements of both coffee and video games.
Which it did not
That's
do that one.
what that one is doing. Um, anyway, kind of interesting. So, and there's, as you saw, others to play with. So, be something fun to look at.
Yeah, have you played with any of those, Mackenzie?
I've not. I think the last time we didn't have access to it or we got access, and then I think we heard from you guys that like not much is going on over there, so you should just
Mm-hmm.
wait. So no.
Yeah, when Duet, like Nicole was saying, first came out. And to be honest, I haven't been on there in a minute, so I'll probably go on again because it's listed in this list of things to look at that it's probably had some things added to it. I would check it out again. So,
Okay. Katie, want to give us the rundown?
Sure. So, there was a lot that happened in this past week as well as this past 24 hours. So, OpenAI, Gemini, and Mistral all released major updates within 12 hours of each other. So there's a lot going on with those. And then we have GPT-5 on the horizon as well. Um, this is some of the updates are things that you, when you're using them, the apps or the models, you might not notice them unless you're working with them a lot. And I don't know if I can share my screen right now. It's like pulling up a weird news article with some bikini ads for some reason. um, but basically, this is just like a AI race again. So we've got all three of these models. There's each one, as we've discussed in classes before, has really, I guess, areas that they're like really good at and areas that need improvement. Every time we see improvement in one area, we usually see something kind of buggy in another area. So I'm curious to test these all out. And I think Google is doing like a free 3-month subscription to their Gemini program. So if you want to test it out, you can get a 3-month trial with the Gemini Advanced.
And I was just going to say, I found something that was not working on ChatGPT today. When I gave it a prompt, it would just time out and say that it couldn't do it. And I had to prompt it again. And that happened for every prompt that I gave it today.
Yeah,
And
I've had issues with GPT all day today. I've been using Claude and Gemini instead of GPT.
yeah,
So we usually see some sort of like slowdown, lag, or just weirdness happening. So it should be fixed in a couple of days though. And
I've been using,
oh, go ahead.
just on the same thought, I've been using ChatGPT to do some math and it's been getting the math wrong.
yeah,
So yeah, so
it
that
does.
sucks because now I have to do it myself to like double check it every time. But
Yeah, so that actually is a good segue to the next little section, which is about using AI for your taxes. And a lot of people, so a good chunk, 1 in 5 Americans would trust ChatGPT or similar to review their income taxes. I don't know if I would trust it because of the whole math situation. However, what you can use AI for is understanding some of the terms in taxes and concepts, helping it break down those things so that you know you're filling out the information correctly. It's really good for the conceptual oversight. And there are companies that are using AI chatbots to help customers. So when you're looking at websites like TurboTax, H&R Block, and those sort of websites, they have AI chatbots that are helping people fill out their forms. And that's okay. You can use those AI tools. Those are trained on their platforms to help people fill out those forms. But it was kind of like a funny warning because April 15th is right around the corner. People are like hustling to get their taxes filed, and people are going to turn to ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and they're going to run into that exact same problem that you had, Stephanie. And they're going to, if they don't look closely, their math is going to be all messed up. So just a little
Yeah,
warning with that.
I was thinking about that too, and even like I wouldn't use ChatGPT for math even before. So I think it's another example too of like which tool you should use for which purposes. So it's another sort of thought process around that. And I was just looking up which LLM is the best at math. And well, the first thing that came up was ChatGPT and Bard were the worst at math. So I definitely wouldn't be using them for math. But as far as taxes go, like Katie's saying, their assistants, like in their own programming and stuff, of course, that is all trained to help you, kind of like how we train GPTs and bots and that sort of thing. So that's all good. But just to go to ChatGPT and say, hey, how's this look? Or like, what's in column A or B? I definitely would not. First of all, I wouldn't want my info in there. Second of all, I wouldn't trust it to do the math correctly. So definitely say no to math on GPT.
I will say I have used it to explain mathematic concepts and
Yeah.
scientific formulas. Like that kind of stuff helps immensely. I had one day I was just going down the science rabbit hole, and I think we used this example in one of our classes, the theory of relativity. We did the whole
yeah.
explain it like I'm 5. I was doing a whole thing on like time travel and wormholes and it did a really good job of explaining like what it would take to make that stuff work, and just the way it broke it down was really interesting. So conceptually, using these tools is great. Actually doing the mathematical work, you're going to have to put in that effort.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry if you don't like math.
Mhm.
And also, like with that, so TurboTax, still valid. Just try it out on there before you submit it to your accountant or whatever. TurboTax does a good job at getting your ish, and that's what it's built for. And someday, maybe next year, by tax time, we'll have AI that helps us with our taxes because it's possible it just needs to have specific guidelines and rules. And ChatGPT itself or any of the LLMs that are open, they don't have those guidelines and rules on them. So somebody's going to build that custom AI that can help you with your taxes, and that's going to be amazing. I want I want all the AI for taxes and accounting, but it's got to be specifically built for that. And then one of the ways, like Stephanie, that I've used it for math when it didn't math, I was building spreadsheets, and then I took it out into Google Sheets, and then applied actual math to it. So I still had it do a lot of the work in ChatGPT or in Claude, and it built out the spreadsheets. But there was some really clear math when I looked at it that it just was absolutely wrong. And you dump it in one of the spreadsheet tools, and it'll get the math right for you. But it is like right tool for the job, and it's not because AI gives you an ish, and ish just doesn't work with math.
Yeah, no. Right? Yeah, that's a good point. The ish doesn't work for math. It is talking about Lima, LLEMMA, as being the one that is built specifically to be able to solve math, but even that one has problems based on if it's geometry, algebra, pre-calculus, and there's different problems it has within those, if it's level 1 or level 2 or like spatial and so yeah, I mean, the
Is
human
that
brain still outranks AI in math, so it's a
is
win
that
for humans.
Andrea? Is that llama or
No,
Lima? Is there a different
Lima,
one?
Yeah,
Lima?
it's a
LLEMMA. Yep, it's a
Okay,
different.
cool.
Yeah,
Good to know.
yeah. Here, I'll give you this little demo site someone built too that has tests of a bunch of questions and how the AI answered and which ones were right and which ones were wrong is, I'll put that in the chat. I just found that on a quick search while we were talking. So,
Okay.
it's interesting, right? So, right, because ish, if it's yes or no, like it doesn't always work. So, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm I'm kind of shocked too because I have some friends that do coding and they'll just write the code and then put it into ChatGPT and look for mistakes and like there's no ish about coding.
But
I don't
coding is
know code.
different.
coding's
Yeah,
a
Yeah.
language though.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's
It
a little,
Okay.
and coding is a little easier for AI to understand because it's all patterns and commands, and AI loves patterns. That's what it thrives off of. Um, so absolutely, like it makes sense that coding would work. There's reasoning and logic and math, and that's one of the things that AI is not so great at. We're going to be seeing some updates with reasoning coming out and probably this year. Um, but it can't understand and reason like a human can. So we use the word understanding with AI a lot colloquially, but truly AI can't understand what we're telling it. It's taking the words that you're telling it and or the prompt that you're using, and it's saying, okay, out of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, blah, 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 which response is the best response to answer your question with? And so it's basically just working off of patterns. Um, so yeah,
I
I
think
can't
there's
remember.
There's a lot that we don't realize that we fill in on a normal basis, that our brains fill in for us. Like we don't have all the information and we will gather it. Like, have you ever seen one of those memes where they don't put in all the letters because your brain just fills in the letters of the words? It's kind of like that. That's what AI is doing. But with code or that's sort of think of it as like a flat level, right? Code is just code. It's a line of, words or text or numbers or whatever it is. It's a formula that equals something. In math, there is direction this way, this way, this way, but there's also that like, spatial element that you can't do in code. I mean, you can make it appear spatial in code, but it is not actually coming out of the screen. So that's the difference, really.
And also with code, it doesn't always get it right either. So my husband is an iOS developer, and he's used it for basic functions that it should basically know how to do to save him writing the code for some blocks that are functions. But when it gets more complex, then it doesn't work so well. Just like when we're doing our writing, we have to double check it. And I'm not the coder, so I'm not going to look at code and know what's going on. I'm not going to look at some Russian text and know what's going on either. But if I look at English text, I can tell you what's going on and what words I'm going to cut out. So whatever the person's expertise is, that's like that again, we go back to source of truth. My husband can look at the code and he can figure out what's going on when it has to do with iOS stuff. But if it has to do with something else, then he's not going to get that either. So if you look at code, you might be like, oh, this is great, but you don't have the context, that you do with English. And so it's really important to I think it's really important for us to stay in our lane and do what we're really good with AI. And that's how we can leverage it. It can make us better. And I wouldn't, I mean, for little Python script or something, I know it could help me with different functions, even though I don't know code. And a lot of people are using it for basics like that because ChatGPT will tell you what to do with it and how to make it work for you if you're trying to build some things or plug some things together, which is nice because then it becomes instructional too. And that's where on math it can tell you how to get the right answer, even if it didn't get the right answer. Yeah. Katie, next.
All right. So two other interesting news items. There is some testing going on with the Air Force with an AI operated jet. And the Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall is actually going to ride in the cockpit while the AI is controlling it. I'm sure there is some manual overrides there. I don't know if I would get into a fighter jet that was being completely run by AI. So, but their whole purpose with that is they have a bunch of unmanned drones, unmanned AI jets that they're testing out. And this is interesting. Like, it's an interesting thing to talk about as far as the topic of warfare goes. Obviously, warfare is not a fun topic to discuss, but imagine instead of humans fighting battles and human lives being lost, there are drone battles. And it's basically AI powered robots that are fighting. Interesting sci-fi concept. I don't know how realistic it's going to play out, but there are a lot of ways that AI is going to be affecting warfare. And just talking about drones, it's not just warfare that's using them, theme parks are using them too. So instead of fireworks, we'll be seeing a lot of drone light shows and entertainment shows too. They do this in Europe in a lot of places, and it's actually really nice for the animals because dogs and cats often get scared by fireworks. So I know for like a lot of us, if we've watched fireworks shows, it can be a lot of fun and like the sounds can be, you know, really entertaining, but there's a lot of people with PTSD and then like a lot of pets. They're not really enjoying it as much as we might think they are. So it's interesting that these AI drones can be moving in that direction as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be good for us here in California too, because then we could have fireworks shows again.
Yes. Yeah, because you're always
yeah,
under a fire watch.
Yeah.
I like the drone shows. We have this firework competition that happens like 2 blocks from our house. And so I actually take my dog to a completely different city to my sister's house for 10 days because she gets so freaked out over fireworks. It is like the worst, the world is ending, and it leaves an impact for a long time afterwards. And so even people just down on the beach doing it, but they were going to bring in a drone show and it was in the other bay in Cole Harbor and we were there ready for the drone show and they had some technical problems because of signal that was getting interrupted and they could not do the drone show.
Hmm.
So I think there's like we're getting there. I've watched a lot of videos that have the drone shows. I think they're really cool and you know, like everything else with technology, it has to get worked out. One of the uses for the unmanned, so they have these unmanned kind of mini jets that are flying now too. And they are going to, like, they're able to hold somewhere around 250 kilograms and they can drop the fire retardant onto forest fires. And they can drop supplies across borders and do things like that. So they can carry large loads, like cargo loads, in these unmanned, and they're not quite drones because the way that they fly and take and land is more like the space shuttle. So it would come down and land. I don't know. It's like a space shuttle landing when you see it, but there are these drones that are, or these unmanned flying sort of planes, little planes, cargo planes, um, that are able to help us. And so they're exploring it for search and rescue also because it can go places when weather isn't safe. It can also take supplies to people on rigs out in the middle of the ocean when it's not safe. So in the Gulf, there's a lot of hurricanes, and so helicopters can't get supplies on and off the ships when there's hurricane season. And so they're looking at these AI assisted flights that can carry supplies to the oil rigs. There's a company in Italy doing it. It came across a friend of mine sent me a link on WhatsApp. It's like, here's something really cool going on, and it's an Italian company that's doing it. So we may see these things helping us out in places where it's really dangerous for humans.
That's really cool. Um, this is on a totally different topic now, like completely switching gears. I don't know if y'all have heard about Korea's artificial sun. Has anybody heard about that? It's
Not
a
yet.
pretty big deal. It's so basically they're doing fusion testing and they were able to hold on to a sustained plasma containment for 30 seconds, which is a huge deal. They're calling it an artificial sun because when you're thinking about fusion, it's basically how sun and stars and space work. That's like how they generate energy. If you're able to sustain that kind of energy for a really long time, it's free energy. So this could be like really big if scientists are able to figure this out because it could mean free energy for the entire world. So they broke that goal and managed to contain it for 48 seconds. And now their goal is for 2026 to have a 300-second containment. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot. Like 300 seconds is not a lot, but with the rapid advancement of AI and the fact that they were able to contain it for 48 seconds, that's almost a full minute, it's probably typically when like these advancements are made, it starts like a snowball effect. And so then they're able to progress faster and further. And I mean, it could really change the game for technology, for crypto mining. I mean, like AI servers, all of that. If we were able to use some sort of fusion power, it would just completely change how our societies are even powered. So I'll show you guys a picture of what it looks like. And then I recommend just watching a few YouTube videos that break it down for you, because there are a lot of scientific elements that are kind of like hard to understand. But this is the inside of the artificial sun here. And
100 million degrees.
I know, that's insane. So there's some great videos online that really break down how it works, and I would definitely recommend that. But I know there's also a lot of controversy around this because it's similar, because it's nuclear fusion. There's always that worry about what if it explodes, essentially.
Yeah.
So, and that's just like a really basic layman's term for that. There's a lot more that goes into that. So that's why I say go watch some of the videos that break it down. I think there's like a Bill Nye video on YouTube, and he always does a really good job of breaking down that information. But just the fact that like if you think about how solar panels work and how we're able to use that energy from the sun, if we were able to harness that here on Earth or replicate that somehow and contain that energy, it would just completely change the game for humanity as a whole. And then let's go back over here. So for the use case for images this week, we did a pattern, which you can do in Midjourney. I'm not sure if you can do it in Leonardo. Marikar, have you tested this in Leonardo yet?
Not yet, but I'll try later.
Okay. So patterns are helpful for a lot of different reasons in images. And Midjourney has a tile parameter that you can add to the end of your prompt, and it creates a seamless pattern. Now, I will say it's pretty accurate about like 98% of the time. So like I could take this block and put it in Canva and make like 4 different, blocks of the same block, and it should repeat. Occasionally it's off by a little bit, but you can always regenerate the images, and you should get at least 2 or 3 that have that seamless pattern. And you can use these for a lot of different things. Like if you wanted to create your own upholstery fabric for your home, or your own wallpaper, or people use these to create digital, or not digital products, like mugs and cups and t-shirts to sell on Etsy, things like that. So I just went with a citrus pattern because it's been warmer here and I'm starting to feel that summer vibe. So, but you could literally do anything. I've tried it with like damask patterns and it works great for that. Lots of potential here for you could do like a cell phone wallpaper or Zoom background even, if you wanted
This
to.
is awesome. And because I have actually done fabric designs for companies before, and it's hard to get it to match up. And so what that means, like what Katie's saying, is if all 4 of those were the same and they touched each other, that the pattern would just like continue and you would have no idea that there was 4 different squares. which sounds, oh yeah, whatever, but if you only had this square because you yourself, Katie or whoever, is creating this brand new fabric design, that image doesn't exist anywhere else. And you could try with AI, but it's not going to give you what you create. So this is really cool because that means you could take like that first one and just have four of those and just keep going, and you would just make this really long, or a, 2 by 10 piece of fabric that then gets made into a dress, or the designer uses to create a whole line of summer 2024. That's really cool, because it's hard, because I appreciate this because I've done it, and so that's really cool. And so since it's Mid-Journey, then you can get it in vector if you need it, and you could make those other changes. You can pull it out, put it in Illustrator, and just go to town. So yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, and Midjourney now has upscaling up to 2 times within it. You used to have to save a file and then upscale it on another software outside of Midjourney, but now you can upscale it twice, which means you can be absolutely sure that the print quality, if you're doing this on fabric or like a mug or something, the print quality is going to be excellent, super crisp, super clear, because when you do the first generation and you save it, it's just at the basic resolution, but when you upscale it, it's getting that higher resolution for you.
In this,
Mark
oh, go ahead.
Mark posted the Leonardo one. That's gorgeous.
Yeah. I just asked ChatGPT to give me the prompt, and then I put it on Leonardo, and that's how it gave me.
It looks
Nice.
pretty, but it isn't. I don't know that it would line
Yeah.
up. So if you took that and put it on top of itself, see the orange, the like blood orange in the middle, that wouldn't line
Yeah.
up correctly.
Yeah.
But it looks really pretty. Katie, when you did these, do you just asked it to create a seamless design, or did you take a design that you made and ask to make it seamless?
So for this one, I did the prompt of, let me pull it up here.
Oh.
So citrus pattern, lemons and limes, bright, vibrant teal and pink colors, and then tile at the end. And tile is what tells it Midjourney to make it seamless.
Okay.
I usually put in pattern just because if I don't put in patterns, sometimes it will just generate like one lemon or one lime. And when you're telling it pattern, you're telling it you want that repeating thing. And I'm trying to show you guys some that I worked on before, if I can find them. But yeah,
That's
it gives,
cool.
I don't know, it's like a nice little creative use case, I think, especially for people who are like looking to do some interior designing, or like you said, Andrea, make your own clothes. So let me see here if I can find that. So these are some that these are not very summery. They're very spooky because I'm obsessed with Halloween. So these are some that I made where you can see each one of these is a square here. And when you put them together, then it looks like a seamless design.
That looks good.
Very cool.
So and those are all ones like these are the ones that I felt looked the best. occasionally you'll get like, you can see the little lines here on this one, but I feel like if this was like a wallpaper or something, it might not be as noticeable. I could probably go in and touch that up a little bit. So that's why I say like sometimes it works amazing. And I'd say it's like between 80 and 90% because everything's lining up pretty well. But on some of these, you can see the line right there, but that you could easily fix. So those are my spooky ones.
Cool. I like that one.
I think of the whole crafting industry, and this is like scrapbook paper.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
like the tile in your bathroom. Like you can
Oh
have this on
yeah,
like your floor.
that
Yeah.
would be cool.
I tried to do like some different textures as well. So I think for this one, I told it lime wash and it would create some different shadowing across the images. So I'm playing with some of the different painting techniques that you might use to create like stencils on your wall and stuff will help your images reflect that same aesthetic. So like this is what I mean. Sometimes when you say you want a pattern, or if you're not really specific that you want the pattern, it will create just like one image. And yes, this can work as a seamless tile, but it's not as effective as some of these other ones, I think.
Yeah, but it also allows you to like control it more, right? So you can make it a big octopus, or you could shrink that down and have a whole bunch of octopus. And like you could like go crazy with
Yeah.
that one. It could be
Yeah.
you could make them so small that it just looks like a pattern unless you're paying attention and then somebody notices their octopus, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are really cool.
Yeah.
Those are great.
Cool. There was one more thing that I wanted to show, and this was not in our newsletter. This was on Reddit a few days ago, but it involves Harry Potter and AI, so I just had to share it. So this guy came up with how many Harry Potter books can fit in each of the AI context window. Gemini 1.5 Pro can fit 9.77 Harry Potter books. That's pretty impressive. And GPT is down here at 1.25. So it doesn't have Claude 3 in there. And I don't know if this guy's had a chance to test it or not recently, but I mean, this was just posted 7 days ago, so it's relatively recent.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a nice visual to help people understand when you're putting content or context into the AI, this is like how much it can truly grasp and understand.
Yeah, especially look at the difference between GPT-4 and 3.5 because there's always that hesitation for people to move from free to paid. And here's what you get, you know? That's a huge difference because not only do you only get access to 0.16 of Harry Potter, but you're going to get 0.16 of the kind of results you're going to get as well. And that's really what that represents, which is that's a good experiment. That's cool.
Yeah.
Good find.
Yeah,
9.77. That's a lot of Harry Potter.
I know. I would highly suggest if you have some time, just spend some time on the OpenAI sub on Reddit. There's a lot of good charts that people post on here, a lot of good conversation going on. And it's not just about OpenAI. They usually do some cross comparison with the other LLMs too. So, and there's always people that are troubleshooting their own issues. So it's kind of fun. Like if you know you're having an issue with something, like this person right here is having trouble loading their history, and he's got 15 comments there helping him out. So lots of good conversation in this sub, and there's other AI related subs as well. Reddit's a really good place where people typically post news first. So it's changed a little bit over the years, but it's still like still one of the first places that I go to if I'm looking for like new information.
Yeah. Thank you, Katie.
You are welcome.
Mackenzie, do you have any question or use case you'd like to share with us today?
AI focus, not so much. No, I have a non-AI question for you, but I can wait until the end, so it can be AI focused. No?
Okay, I think Stephanie has AI question, and then we'll get back to that, Mackenzie.
It's regarding Jasper, and I know yesterday, so I'm trying to put words in my Jasper picture, and it's telling me I can do it. And I know yesterday we said that I should make it in Jasper and then put it in Canva. But I'm doing the Jasper certification, so like I need to do it in Jasper. And it also says I can do it. So
What are
I'm
you,
like, why
can
is
you
it not
show us
working?
what you're
Yeah.
trying to do?
And sometimes it works, sometimes it does not.
Yeah, and to be clear, you can do it, but
Okay.
you
Don't laugh at
probably
my
won't use
example.
it, or you will have to change it somewhere else.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you got the stop to work, and
I got the stop to work, but I want happiness to be on the sign stop.
That's a long word. The chances of happiness are not very great. Like if you had a
Yeah.
5-letter word, that's about, yeah.
well, right now it's getting the word stop, and it's not getting happy at
Yeah.
all. So look at where you have stop, and it's right in front of the sign. So I would put whatever word you want on it in front of that right there, and take away that other part, because looks like where it's reading from. That's what I would recommend. So get rid of all the rest after sign.
Okay.
See what happens.
Just looking at your prompt, that's what I would recommend first glance. And because your prompt, in your prompt, it doesn't say that it's a street sign. It doesn't say like the person has a sign, like it. So it's going to be random what your result is too.
Yeah.
In the training, they give you a sample. What is the sample prompt they give you?
In the training?
Do you have that with you or not?
I don't have that with me
Okay.
right now. But when I use templates, it doesn't give me an enhanced prompt option. But here it does. So let's put in the picture. I love how easy it is to put pictures into Jasper. So freeform. So this is an enhanced prompt. Capture the magical winter night scene in Boston. With a high attention to detail, showcase the city lights reflecting on the snowy. Please include a street sign that says happiness. Should I change it to happy just because it's
I don't know,
shorter?
just try it. Did it
Just
for
try
you.
it.
So I would just do
Yeah.
exactly what it says and see what the system gives you.
Okay.
I mean, yes, you can make all the changes, but to me, like if that's the prompt it gave you as an enhance, you might as well try it, right?
Oh, we hit a
Yeah.
snag.
And
Yeah,
that
that
does
could,
happen for me.
Yeah, and it could be because this pulls from Dolly, which is OpenAI, and they did
Yeah.
their update, and so it could be related to that too.
Okay.
Yeah, just keep trying. Um,
Okay.
And don't forget, I think you can give thumbs up or thumbs up or thumbs down to
Okay.
Jasper's images to tell that whether or not you like the images. One thing that I did trying to replicate what you were doing is because sometimes with generative images, it's usually like the first 5 to 10 words that are weighted heavier. So I switched the prompting around a little bit to say a sign that says happy on a city street with a curly headed woman walking by. It didn't,
Okay.
so it did get the happy part right here. But it didn't really get that in the
It,
other 3 pictures.
and the orientation of her body, it's like she's holding it, but it's the backside,
Yeah.
and there's no face. That's really odd.
Yeah.
I don't think
Um,
AI likes curly hair either.
well, I think it's honestly, so Dolly is honestly not one of my favorite AI image generators. It's a little less accurate.
Mhm.
It's good. It's like good to start with for sure. And Jasper recently acquired Clip Drop, which we talked about, I think yesterday, was it?
Yesterday. Mhm.
Yeah. So the images within Jasper are going to be improving, but it's going to take them time to like get all of the new features in there too.
hey,
Okay.
hold on.
Andrea did one.
You get it? Cute. There's the
Oh,
curls. Can you
Something.
send that to me so I can just put it in
Sure.
there? Okay. No, that's so I don't tell them I said that. So I think my prompts are too long and there's too many words in it. And I will remember that the first few words are gonna be weighted
Andrea, will
heavier.
you copy and paste that prompt in the
Yeah,
chat so
totally.
Stephanie? Yeah,
'Cause
because
I
then you can see
used
what it
happy is
says.
even at the end of mine, so it
Yeah.
uh, definitely shorter. And again, each tool is different. Like Katie always talks
hmm
about in the images class, like you have to know how to talk to each one. And Dolly is also one that I have used less than any of the other ones because the results usually haven't been that great. But
hmm
these actually are pretty okay, like as far as the person goes. Like there's a little weirdness right there happening, a little weird on her teeth,
Yeah.
but like overall, they're this is some better ones that I've seen. But you could go in here and, try to do some other things for sure. But yeah, keeping it simple seems to be the way. Um, and what I would do too, Stephanie, because it's Dolly, is do some searches for good ways to prompt Dolly to get good text or, something around that area.
I would
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
also, oh, sorry.
I was just going to say you can ask ChatGPT to write the prompt for you, and then put it
Okay.
because that's Dolly, and so then you could put it into Jasper, and you should have a better result.
Okay.
I would
Thank you.
I would also look for prompting for stable diffusion. What's it called? Stable diffusion. It's like SXL or SDXL. I'm trying to find the exact one. SDXL. Because ClipDrop is based off of SDXL, and I don't know if Jasper has already made like the complete switch internally or not. So try the Dolly prompt, but also try searching for like how to prompt for stable diffusions SDXL.
Good point.
Yeah, very good.
I haven't
Got
used
it.
Drop at all. Have you used it, Katie? Did you say?
Just a little bit. They have some limitations with pricing and everything. So because we already have like Leonardo and Canva and all these other things, I can show you guys what it has on there. So it's got cleanup, image upscaler, remove background, replace background, sky replacer, swap, generative fill. This is stable diffusion. And then here are some like of the examples. So like you can swap somebody's head,
Oh, cool.
replace background. That's good for like product photos. Remove background. So some of these are what they consider like premium features. And we already have this in Canva. We have like all of these things and other tools. So I haven't really played around with those. I tried the swap people feature and it's okay. I think, let's see, drag a photo of someone over the head to swap them. So like you can start with some of the images here already made. So we can do that one. And then I uploaded several different images of myself to test it out.
Then Katie swimming with the whales. Oh,
You've got a lot
Yeah.
of makeup on underwater.
I feel like it doesn't get my eyes and my cheeks right. Like it always exaggerates one part of the face.
oh.
That's a little better, but it's getting my hair is a little wonky.
The second time I prompted Dolly on those photos, they came out even better. And we could use the face swapping for Stephanie on these if she wanted it to be her. Like there's a curly hair
Yeah.
person, and like the words are actually coming out more clear now. The only thing I changed was wide angle, so it came out a little bit, and then sunny day. That was all I changed. So anyway, it just takes practice, but also it's kind of luck too, you know, because you can never create the same thing over and over. Yeah. So I sent those to you also.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Right, Mackenzie, your non-AI question.
Well, okay, first one's kind of AI.
Okay.
Caffeinated CX. Gone. Where is it? Do you know anything about
No.
with their website? Looks like he sold the company. And we just found that out today. So we've reached out on LinkedIn to hopefully get a response from the founder, but the website's
What
there. So
I can text him.
if you would like, go. I mean, we emailed as well. I just didn't know if you were like, yeah, he actually got acquired by whatever. So if you're curious, go for it. We reached out to.
Okay, Andrea, let's keep it on for now.
Okay.
Um, I think it's okay because this is going to happen. Tools are
Yeah.
going to get acquired, they're going to disappear at
Yeah.
a massive rate, just as fast as they were built in the last year.
Change.
Yeah. So let me know if you need help getting a hold of them.
Will do. And then I think it just kind of pushes us to like maybe we do Nifty instead. So it could be all
Yeah.
for the good. It was just like let's do it. Where did it go? Great.
Well, and the customer service bot that you can have that was built to sit inside of Nifty is great. It really is. And if we needed to integrate it with different things, you probably could. And I mean, you can integrate it into workflows and automations and all sorts of things. So as long as you kind of know what your dream setup is, then it can probably handle what you're looking for.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then, a non-AI question is, I believe this was a recommendation by one of our earlier meetings. I can't remember. Like my notes have it. Stack Adapt is a platform that you can run programmatic ads.
Mm.
I also heard from somebody that you can choose to run Stack Adapt on your site and choose the ads that are shown. So you can actually, like if you wanted to show ads on some of your free pages or blogs, using Stack Adapt as like the other end of it, basically. Was that information from you guys or somebody else? Anything you know about that?
No.
No, I haven't used that one, but tell me again, explain to me what you want to do with it. I mean, I'm looking at it, but so ads on your website,
Yeah, but I would want
basically?
it, but I would want the ads to be super curated. Like I get
Yeah.
to pick the placement, I get to pick the type of ad, and then we earn a little bit of additional revenue from,
Okay.
and I don't need to reach out to any, I don't need to do outreach for ads. They've got like a curated platform of people who want to run ads, programmatic ads, and I pick.
I gotcha. So is your question, is that a good idea? Or is your question,
So
what do we know?
if that's possible through Stack Adapt, because one of my team members was looking into it and he couldn't find where on the website that was offered. And it was something I'd put together thinking that we could do, but he can't find a way to do it. So I'm like, maybe I made it up. I was just seeing if
Yeah, you
that
would.
bells to you guys.
No, I don't know about that one. You would need to be in their network of sites that they would place ads on. There's a lot of different networks that you can be tied into. You can even just do the Google Ad network.
Google AdSense.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing about that is I think I really might have just made this up. Then like I like the idea of being able to curate the type of ads that can be shown on the website. Like I'm not,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. So if you guys find any like thing like that where you can really curate it instead of just whatever they choose for you, and yeah, you can choose category, but
Let me see. Um, I have a friend's website and they run ads all the time and they're relevant for their users. So let me see. Because I know that they have had partnerships before. But I want to see if I can tell if it's using a service. This is advertising. Um, like 3 ads that pop up on the homepage, but I actually think they're Google ads, judging by how it looks. I'm pretty sure they're Google ads. Oh no, ad choices. They're ad choices. Youradchoices.com. Yeah,
okay.
that's what they are using.
It looks like it has pretty good reviews from people using it, and the stats that they have on their own website, which of course are their own website, but if you can look into those and see that they are in fact legit, which I would hope so because they're on their website, that they are rated 94% best in targeting, which means that the audience, the contextual targeting is 94% accurate. So it would be ads that would make sense for the person visiting your site. So that seems good. And the brand safety, so they wouldn't put things on your site. I imagine there's parameters that you get to go through and, mark up. They don't really show the inside anywhere. But the reviews online are 9 out of 10 from what I'm seeing. So
Okay, cool. Thank you guys.
Yeah. My pleasure.
and they are using machine learning to make that happen. So
Interesting.
mhm.
Yeah, my friends are the ones that have astrostyle.com. I don't know if you've ever been there, but they're twins. One lives in New York and one lives in Seattle. Um, and they are astrologers. They're also Sagittarii.
I love.
And that,
I
yeah,
can
that's their whole
confirm that
business.
the ads on their website or something are things that I have recently searched. That is true. I've got a LED face mask, an
Oh
SEM
yeah.
Rush conference, and a new Peacock show. So
There you
yeah.
go. All
Ooh,
right.
I've got a RSV ad, a Vessi ad, and a Mind Valley ad, and Nescafe. That's not relevant. So it looks like these are ads by Google, but I guess they're filtered or something. Yeah. Anyway, something to look into and have some fun with Astro Style. Um, but I know they make a living out of doing this, and they have for years. And I think that's it. We've had a nice long session today. Um, Lots of interesting information from, I mean, from drones to now we're in astrology. We have we have covered the universe.
Buy
Yes.
it back. I'm gonna go sign my final tax documents that were not done by AI, but were done by an accountant.
Excellent. Mine too.
Yeah.
All
Nice.
right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, everyone.